Welcome to our bonus episode with Josy Amann. This is exciting for me. Our human design reading today. Josy is a 2-4 public role, so she is a easy breezy genius. She's a natural, and unconsciously, you're a foundation of people. And that is going to make sense when you listen to our main episode because she has supported a business for 20 years with a best friend. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your public role as a 4 line is the most fixed of the lines. And so people come to you through your network and people are strangers. You're not here for strangers. You're here for people that know you and people that know you beyond that. My public role is a 5-1. I'm here for strangers. And our two profiles together are the most compatible. You're a foundation of people. I bring a foundation of knowledge. You are a natural. People project on you about your talent, and you have to decide if you want to use it or not. And people project on me that I can solve their problems, and I have to decide if I want to solve them or not. Does that sound about right for your lived
Uh,
experience?
yeah. I mean, that definitely feels right. And that's
Mm.
so cool to think about the complementary of that, as a business partner or someone you're working with, because that's really interesting. People you know and strangers.
Yes. I've co-hosted a podcast with Marissa Sensaki, who's also a 2-4. And I find that you are where I see we get along is not only are you a foundation of people, but oftentimes you're just like a human lie detector test. Like you really understand people and how to whether or not they're telling the truth.
Yes, definitely. That's definitely one of my strong suits. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And
Right?
oftentimes these people in corporate will get hired for one role and then they'll get like, well, we need you to do this thing. And then they'll end up getting projected on that they're not doing the thing correctly. So it's always
Mm,
important when you hire a 2-4 that you let your natural genius shine. Um,
mm,
the 2 line isn't designed to see its own talent, it's designed to have its talent called out. So it's important for people to recognize you. And if you're not recognized, then you're just in the wrong environment. When you're in
mm,
the right environment, the right people show up. And when
yeah.
you're in the wrong environment, the wrong people show up.
Mm, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super powerful.
You are super powerful. Looking at your chart, your energy type in corporate, we call you an express builder. Human design calls you a manifesting generator. I'm a classic builder. And so you can manifest things very quickly. You can put things into action very quickly, but your energy may skip a few steps along the way that you'll have to go back and button up. And if you have a partner that is a classic builder, they will make sure that they tie up those loose ends or even point out those steps for you.
Oh, 100%. My business partner is definitely a classic builder if we pulled her chart. She keeps me in line. But yeah, I skip many steps.
And what's interesting is that so you have two strengths that would make you a manifesting gener or a manifester, and one is just great charisma and very powerful. So you're meant to speak into the now, and you're very powerful and charismatic. And then the other side of that is management.
Mm,
You could work in a very large corporation and do well if you wanted, because you have the ability to oversee and manage all of the resources and you have the willpower to be able to follow through on all of those, which makes sense
mm.
why you are still standing in business with a friend after all these years.
Yeah, I don't want to work for necessarily a big corporation, but I guess you never know. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it was the not self is anger. And so when this is the energy for you that if particularly if you're meeting roadblocks, which is what corporate is, they move
Yeah.
too slow. You might
Mm,
find, yes,
yeah.
that then the anger might set in.
Yes, I could see that.
Yeah. And the part that makes you a generator is the channel 4253, and it is all about cycles. And so you really live in cycles. You start things correctly, you end things correctly. And if you don't end them correctly, you got to go back and do them again, maybe in a same, but different type of model. But this energy, and it's all unconscious for you, and your driving force unconsciously. You are great at helping other people end cycles as much as you are driven actually to end some cycles. I don't know if that resonates for you.
It really does. And the thing about cycles, I think about it all the time, like grieving people or I don't know, idea cycles. Sometimes I feel like they go in same as pregnancy, like 3 month cycles. I just always felt that always makes sense to me. So I always it helps you get through hard times because you know there is going to be a pattern to it.
Yeah, the 42.5 is your driving force. For me, that's my emotional intelligence in my chart. And so we're great at help grief is it's interesting you even mentioned grief because we're here to celebrate endings. Everyone
Mm,
celebrates a birth, nobody celebrates a death. And
mm,
we're here to remember that it's just a transition into whatever the next cycle is. And death is very powerful for kicking off new cycles.
yeah, and inspiration. I always find that my dad died many years ago, and you know, as it is, as horrible it is to lose a parent and anyone that feels too early, I just feel like he has inspired so many people with his death, in his death, the energy he had going into his death, it's pretty beautiful. So I resonate with that.
Yeah, that's what you're here for. When I lost my mom, I always, whenever people talk about death, I'm like, it's hard because people want to sit in that cycle of grief. I've helped my dad support that cycle, and it is a 7-year cycle of grief for people.
Mm,
But for me, it's always been looking at, well, now I have someone on the other side helping me out. It's allowing yourself to just really be in tune with the celebration that was meant to be there and to celebrate life.
that's right.
Yeah.
Love that.
And what's so fascinating about your chart as well is some of the openness that you have. You and I both share having a wide open emotional center. And they call it a solar plexus in the human design. We're here to be wise about emotions, which means when you walk in the room, we're either going to amplify the emotions in the room or we're going to be the calm lake. We waking up every day as a calm lake. But if there are a lot of emotions in the room, we can be wise about what needs to be done with those emotions.
Mm, help direct them.
Yes.
Mm,
And transmute them. So many people want to um, shove them under the rug or to move them forward, and we're really good at helping people, with whatever is here, and then moving through them. Emotions are just like an ocean, and you have a understanding. But in the early years, you may have found that you were called emotional. You may have felt like you were amplifying a lot of the emotions around you, particularly if you have kids.
all of my siblings would say that would be true.
Yes, my mom used to tell me I was dramatic and emotional, and then she was not alive when I found human design, but my mom and dad are both emotionals. So I was just waking up every day and amplifying the emotions that were in the room. But if I wake up alone in my bachelorette pad, like I'm the same person I'm the same person I was when I was 5 when I wake up. And half the people are not. Half the people will wake up feeling different every day.
Yeah, yeah, 100% resonates.
You also have a wide open identity and direction center, and this is 45% of the population. You're not here to have a fixed identity, which you're here to play with identity. You're here to really, you also feel people's identities when you walk in a room and you know who has healthy self esteem. You can feel where people are. I
Mm,
imagine that in your work, it allows you to really capture that and help guide people in their identities.
that's one of my favorite things about being a leader, just lifting people up, especially when you see that they need it,
Mm.
that they are having a weak moment or a weak time, and that there's something that you could do to kind of patch that. Yeah.
Yeah. And because you have the 2034, which is so charismatic and powerful, you're going to plug into a lot of people's identity, of a lot of energy, like reaching for the identity center. And so I can see where you've attracted my energy in some of these places as well. And you also have an open intuition center. You're here to be fearless and to show us what it looks like to live fearlessly. But with some of your hanging energies, there can be a fear sometimes of judgment or a fear of corruption. Probably why I didn't want to work in corporate. I also feel
Right.
that same fear. But this, as an open intuition center, typically you don't do well with pharmaceutical medicine. But you're someone that maybe like puts their hand on the door and feels something, and if you go in, you might get sick. Like your intuition really is guiding you on keeping you away from sickness and keeping you in the right space. But you can, when you're around people with a defined spleen, you might feel better, or you might feel all their fears. So not only do you feel people's identity, but you also can feel where they're fearful and where they're emotional.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. My daughter's the same way. And I now see it more in myself through her, watching her and how she just absorbs so many emotions. So it's been helpful as a parent to say we have to talk about boundaries and how you're going to protect yourself because otherwise you just fly away with everybody else's emotions sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, how do you stay fearless? Sometimes when I meet people with an open spleen, they are looking for the person that has the other energy so they can feel safe.
I don't know if I'm fearless. I wouldn't say that. I think most people would say that about me,
Hmm.
because I do jump in and just do things. But yeah, I mean, like just what it is to be a human, like you said, being judged and things like that. That's, the part of the human condition. But what I do have that I think people see is just the drive. I'm always moving forward. I'm never staying still. And I just, for every part of my existence, it's always moving forward. So I don't have time for fear all the time. It creeps in, but you just got to keep moving forward. You got to do the things.
Hmm. That fear of judgment, that energy lives in your Pluto, which is all about truth and transformation.
Mm, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And that express builder part of you is the one that's always moving. As a classic builder, I'm the one that says, "Hey, let's sit down and think about it for a moment." You are that doer, that classic, like, let me get it stood up. And then if we have to correct it afterwards, we can.
Yes.
Yes, where my classic builder energy is like, well, the first step is important. Like, I can't write a paper without a title. And you're like, let's write third paragraph, see how we feel tomorrow.
It'll come later.
Yes, yes. You also have a wide open head and on conceptualization center. So you're really here to sift through people's ideas and help pull out for them and maybe shape them because you're mentally very flexible. 70% of people are open there, 45% are open in the conceptualization. So to have both allows you to be really flexible in how you process information. I am in the 30% of the population that thinks very specifically, and I can't deviate from that. And you're someone that can come in and really sort through and help people with that, which I imagine we'll talk a little bit about in our main episode and the work that you do.
Mm, yeah. I wouldn't say that about yourself, though, because lead an amazing podcast where you can't always think about things and you have to go on the fly. So
That's my open
I'm
throat.
sure.
So 72% of the population has a defined throat like you. You have a very specific way that you speak. Because I'm open, I kind of just go with like I get an accent when I start visiting places. Like I say y'all now that I'm in the South, and so that allows me to be a little more flexible in how I speak. But my
Mm,
mind is processing in very much the same way all the time. Some of my favorite parts of your chart, when I just glanced at it really quickly, your core talent is strategy,
mm,
and you are an authority. Is the specific energy type, the 21.3. My Mercury, which is about relating, is a 21. So I am here to be an authority and how to relate to people, where you're really an authority and how to develop strategy. It's your core talent. And that core talent starts developing at the age of 42. It would be really helpful if people knew that you don't really start, like energy is like a wine, it has to take some time to mature.
mm. That's interesting. And that it makes sense. I'm 50. I just turned 50. And
Yes.
I think
And you have a third line there. 50 is a big year for three profiles. You're a 2-4 profile, but in the area you have a lot of three lines. Three lines is where you make money. You have a lot of unconscious three lines. So 50 is a big year because that three line lives a three-part life process. 30 is a big year, 50 is a big year. Like you live in cycles, so that naturally makes sense for you. And like your entire chart unconsciously is full of three lines. So lots of places that you make money, providing strategy and being the authority in the room. I love the your Jupiter, which is really about laws and how you make your money is through a network. It's through a unit, so units like 3 to 15 people, which makes and it's all about shocking people, waking people up, sometimes even agitating them a little bit to get them to go in the direction they need to go. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, your creativity is a third line, and that is the 50. That is all about not acceptance, but values. Like, and it really, and so you kind of your creativity is in that space of avoiding corruption and looking at what do we need to actually uphold, particularly on media and like what does it look like identity, like what is important that we have to preserve, what can we just let go of so that we can make money.
That's right.
Um,
Yeah.
your stability is also in that third line, and this is about new beginnings. So having that in your stability tells me that it's really important for you to start a new beginning in a proper way. And you may have started things and ended them, and ooh, I didn't start that quite correctly. It's really important for you on how you start something
Mm. Yeah. And end.
and end. Yes, my dad always says the ending is the most important part.
Yeah.
Hmm. Um, some other fascinating parts of your chart, what you're here to communicate. You have the 18 there as well. You really, the 18, I mentioned fear of judgment earlier, but at its highest expression, this is my evolution, is integrity. And integrity is about strengthening things. Whenever I think of integrity, I think of a bridge that has a lot of integrity, is solid. Trucks can go down. Like you are really coming in you're a great corrector, perfecter, and editor type of energy. And you're
Mm.
really looking at being able to express to people, here's how we can refine what you're doing to make it stronger. And you're a fifth line there. So fifth lines are always about messengers, about power. You're a very
Mm.
powerful messenger in the space of editing what people have to say.
Love that. Do you know my angel card that I pulled today
Mm,
was integrity?
mm. Very nice. Yeah, that's your Pluto too, your truth and transformation. And that's my evolution. So I love that you pulled a little bit of me in
I'm
there
like,
as well.
pick it up. Integrity.
Mm.
That's funny.
Yeah. Your personality, like the core essence is what they call this in corporate, the 64. So there's 64 strands of DNA. Technically, the 63rd ends the cycle, and the 64 is looking towards the future. So what grounds you is the 63, and then the 64 is your personality. And when they're at their worst, there's doubt and confusion. And when they're at their best, there's inquiry and there's truth that shows up. And sometimes we just have to wait for truth to be revealed.
Takes time sometimes.
It does. Timing is everything, is what I always tell people when they want to have any type of advice that you want to give somebody. Timing.
Yeah.
Mm. You're a capacity builder too. It's in your nodes, it's your future. So after 42, we start moving into that north node environment. So you've been there for a while. You really do. You bring a gift of self assurance unconsciously in this environment. You're attracting people that either need to borrow some self assurance or have self assurance. And then you attract resources. You may need a little bit of direction, but if you have a little bit of direction, like you will bring all of those resources. And oftentimes they're through people because your network is so important for your profile.
Right. Foundational.
Yeah. Um, Last thing I always like to point out for people, you're a gut intuition person. Ooh, your cognition. You can smell a rat from a mile away.
Yes.
Yes. And people that have this cognition, it's like we all get a spidey sense, is you actually need to be in an environment in order to know if it's right for you because you have to smell it.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's very clear.
mm, yeah.
And I'm always telling my kids to, really pay attention to your gut. And maybe other people's guts are not as strong, but it is very clear. Both and my business partner as well. We often share the same gut on things, even though we come from very different disciplines and kind of thought process. We always share the same gut, which has really guided us to
Mm.
where we are today.
Yeah, your environment is natural shores. My dad has this. You're meant to be a psychological carrier of information. So you're not in the water, you're not on the beach making a sandcastle. You are right there at the edge, and you need to travel so that you can move information, whether it's virtually or physically, but you're meant to really move information around the world.
Mm,
You can
I
see
like
very
that.
beautiful alignment in what you do. And so when you tune into our main episode, you're going to soak up all of her knowledge because she has quite a bit. And my favorite part of women that have reached the age of 50 is this is when whew, all of the wisdom is there. I mean, 50 years of experience really does mean you are at your peak of being able to support people. That's just part of the natural cycle. It's not an ending for women. Don't let Hollywood convince you that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Your business qualities, you also have, and this is your purpose and relationships. It is you, it's a very fixed energy. It is get the rhythms. You're like if you've set up your office, you're probably never going to rearrange the furniture. Where I am the opposite. I will rearrange my furniture several times a year. It's important for an office to have, clear set of guidelines, rules, like you really kind of allow rhythms to happen. But that also means it can be a challenge sometimes to shake up your own rhythms.
Mm, very true. My office has not changed for 10 years.
My husband has that energy. Like when we moved, I'm like, even the dust is still there. He's not interested in having anything in his office change. And that because it's such a fixed energy, and the four line is such a fixed energy as well. It's the gift of patience. So we tend to think of patience in lots of different ways, but patience is the patience to stick with an environment for a very long time versus
Yes.
thinking about changing it. It also means that impatience has also been a theme for you in relationships, but your greatest gift there is patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you say
Very
time
patient with my husband of 30 years.
and very fixed. You didn't leave him.
He's lucky.
He certainly is. You also bring the gift of public relations is in your chart, which is really just the ability to gain attention and attract clients, which is very necessary for a business. Capacity, as I mentioned earlier, generating resources, and then the gift of commitment. You can get a group of people to say yes to something. You
Hmm.
need someone else to coordinate it. That energy is missing, so you might need a little support there, but you really can bring a group together and make them cohesive and say yes.
Mm.
Hmm. I always love to get to read people's charts. Your purpose is really about mental strength and communication skills to influence and lead others towards positive change. You possess a natural talent for analyzing and understanding complex ideas. You're driven to use this to inspire and motivate others. Whether it's writing, speaking, any communication, you're really here to leverage your mental prowess and influence the beliefs and actions of those around you.
Mm.
It's always nice to meet someone who's
Wow.
like nailed it in their career. I don't
Oh
always
my,
see that.
you just nailed it just doing the reading. I mean, that's amazing. I studied psychology in college, so I love that you're bringing disciplines together. I think it's beautiful because I think it's so important for people to have that through line.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Psychology just misses the one most important part, which is breathing. When we shift
gosh.
the way we breathe, we can shift the way we see. So psychology is too obsessed with the mind, they forget that we're energy first.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to sing in a rock band, so I learned the breathing thing very quickly
Of course you
as
did. That makes
a
perfect
kid.
sense. That's the natural talent that you have hidden. And if you tune into our main episode, you're going to hear all the rest of the talents. And you have a talent for supporting other people as well. Yes, you're a mother, you have a lot of experience that we're going to be talking about in the main episode. So make sure you tune in. And thank you so much for letting me read your chart today.
Thank you so much, Katie. That was awesome.